Look what I made. So proud of this. Walnut mallet with a cypress handle. That's what we're going to be making today. Welcome to San Marcos Makes YouTube channel where we're making things. It is hammer time. But for real, wooden mallet, very first one I ever made, a little big. This one happens to be walnut and a cypress handle. For the next one I'm going to build, the one that'll be on the video, I got some purple heart today. First time I've ever messed with purple heart. And poplar. So the handle's going to be poplar, and the outside's going to be of the mallet head will be purple heart. The inside will also be poplar. So if we look at it, it's going to be kind of a sandwich like this. Should look really nice. So let's get started. Alright, so as we kind of look at the next one I'm going to make, the important part is when we do the glue up, that it's going to be kind of in this fashion. I'm going to purposely have the edges sticking out because I can go back to the table saw and square this off. I don't want to glue this in, but the handle I don't want to glue in. I want to leave that separate, but it's got to be tight. I mean, like 0 tolerance. And I've seen people put a little ledge, and it didn't work out real good for me the first time I did it. So I want to make that as tight as I can get it right here when I do the glue up. And then it will come out. I'll pull it out. I mean, as soon as I get it set, I'm going to pull it out. So of course it doesn't stand there, but I want this to stay just like this, because long term this is going to get inserted and it'll actually be a little longer, come out in the top. But I'm going to make the slice here, and then I don't have the wedge yet cut, but I'm going to jam in the wedge so that it opens up and it won't be tight. The first one I made, this one, that's exactly how I did it. I didn't even have to use glue. There is no glue holding this handle in. It's just sheer force with this wedge. I did a little bit bigger of a wedge, and I actually like it. I will probably, only reason I did not put the glue was I just simply forgot to put the glue, but the thing ain't going anywhere. So the next one I do, I am gonna put a couple dots of glue, but I don't think it's super needed. Awesome. So that's gonna be kind of the next thing we're gonna do. So I'm gonna get ready for the glue up. We'll go through this, what I'm gonna use, and it's only just because of what I have left. I would normally use Titebond 2. I didn't have any left. Now I feel like going to the store this late at night. So I'm gonna use Titebond 3, but. All right, so my helper has showed up. Say hi, Kinley. No. Oh, you're not gonna, oh, she's gonna be bashful. All right, so let's get some glue on. So, I wouldn't say you can't have too much glue, but definitely want to get it all nice and spread off. It's a car. Alright, so let's get it on the poplar. We'll spread it out. Kinley, are you going to spread it out for me? It's nice and sticky for you. You going to spread it out for us?
No.
No? Kinley, do you like sticky things?
No.
No, do you?
No.
No, we don't like sticky things. Well, then I guess I'm gonna have to do it. I have a brush, but it already has glue on it. So try to take the glue all the way to the edge. Good, equal coverage all the way around. Whoa. Gonna get it on this. We will get it on the other side of the poplar. Pay attention to grain direction. You want it going the same way. Alright, so let's go ahead and I kind of goofed up there. I should have not added glue to the middle. No way around that. or a sticker. Well, a sticker is probably going to permanently be a part of this. Get it off of that. So what we'll do to fix this, because I should not have put it in the middle, is I'm going to leave plenty of space. I'm going to set it in here and then just pull it off and wipe it off. Shouldn't be that big of a deal, but I would have rather not had glue in the center. But I think Miss Kinley distracted me with her dinosaurs. Are your dinosaurs? Oh, they're moving some wood around, huh? Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and basically just set this in here. I know it's gonna get glue on it, but we don't have much of a choice at this moment. And I'll just have to pull it out after I get some clamps on it. So, luckily I got a little bit of, let me kind of just show you what it's going to look like. See down in here, and then I will just pull this out. Kind of makes you dizzy, huh? Get it where you can see it a little better. I'm not using the best mount. Let me just pull this a little back so you can see it a little better. Alright, so let's do our best to kind of line this up. I'm gonna start to get some clamps on it. What I've found for clamps, I hang it off the edge like this, Kinley. And right now I don't want to put a ton of pressure because I still got to get out the handle. Just put a little bit of pressure, and then we will turn this around and we're going to put one on the other side. Watch out, that's going to be sticky.
I think I was here.
See the glue?
Yeah.
Alright. So let's see if we can't get this handle out. Yep, we got that out. We'll have to wipe that off here in just a second. Now, we can really squeeze down. I'm going to put a couple more clamps on it because you can never have too many clamps. And I want to really make sure we get the edges real well. Put another clamp on. And then we'll basically let this set overnight.
Oh, that's whipping, Dad.
Now, I would definitely, if you can, get off some of this glue. What you can get off, I mean, we're definitely going to be cutting and sanding and all that kind of stuff, so if you leave it on, it's not the end of the world, but less glue is always going to be the best. But that is basically all we're going to do till the morning. Get some of this glue off. I will make sure it dries. Not sticking on something. We'll just put that there. Okay, so that'll do it for the night. Tomorrow we'll get this nice and off the clamps. We'll square it all up, get our final size, and be done. All right, so clamps have been removed, and I've actually already went ahead and started even up the sides. So I've done the 3 sides. Of course, see a little bit of burn marks. All that will be taken care of in the sanding process. So I got one last side, so you can see the overlap. All I'm going to do is take my square, measure from here to here, cut that so that it stays the same. That's why I'm trying to make this as easy. If I said I wanted exactly a precision, whatever, a 4 inch, or whatever we're talking about, 6 inches, whatever. Well, then I had to always think about it. The easy part about this is just simply, okay, this is going to be that measurement there. I'm going to take this and then take it to my table saw and make sure that it's even. So that's what I'm going to do, is finalize that cut, and then we're almost done. All right, so we now have a squared off mallet. And reference, we'll see how big we are, or wide, really, that's what I'm after. So we're right at about 3 inches, just a hair over, so I'm really good with that. And lengthwise, we're right at about 6 inches. All right, 6 inches. By about 3 inches. I don't know how that shows. But now is the spot where if you want to kind of sand, get some of these barn marks or mill marks, it's a great time to do it, because once the handle's in, it's a little bit difficult. Really, the only time it's difficult is where the handle sticks in, but you could easily do that. Get that up a little bit better so you can see it. But it's going to be as simple as getting that handle in there. You want it a tight fit. The only thing else left we got to do is create a wedge. So we're probably, to make it stand out, we're going to make a purple heart wedge that will go in here after the handle's been inserted. The only other thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cut a slit down for the, put it up here so you can see it. Cut a slit with the table saw in here. I've seen a couple people, so the blade's going this way, taking it this way with a jig. The way I did it first time was I put it in the table saw going this way, flipped it over just to keep it kind of where it had a good flat end. But you're basically wanting this to kind of open up, and then long term you're going to insert a wedge. Thing ain't going to go anywhere. So next thing we're going to do is cut the poplar. I could remember the name of it. Cut the poplar right down the middle so it can accept the wedge. All right, a couple more things. So we know that the mallet head is right about 3 inches. So we got to make sure our cut goes pretty far, but we also don't want it to go so far that we see it on the bottom side of the handle. So I'm going to make a line at 4 inches. The reason I'm going to go 4 inches is because I want it to go a little past the top. When I ultimately put the mallet on, I want some of the poplar to be sticking out of the top. I will cut it off smooth at the top. So I want it to go 4 inches. So I put a line there. I'm also going to need to find the center of, so we are, oh, look at that side. Should be right at, okay, it's a little more than one. We're gonna call it about, maybe I better use this side. My lighting is not real good. So let's go 4¼ centimeters. So what would that be? 2 1/4 or 2 1/8? Man, I ain't gonna be able to. All right, so 2 1/8 in that ballpark. So somewhere in that area. All right, so I guess it doesn't have to be super perfect. These I don't even look right. All right, you don't have to be super precise, but you want it down the middle. I will be doing this pretty freehand. So this is all I'm gonna do. I want to take it up just before I see the line because I know down the bottom, and I'm also gonna flip it around and do the same side just to get it as even as possible. I could go this way. Only thing I didn't want to do that without cutting a jig is I'm going pretty high, and I think it's easier to mess up. So we'll try it this way. All right, assembly time. So, real quick, I want to show you. Nothing has to be perfect. That's why I like this. So, I'm obviously not centered. It ain't gonna hurt anything. This is going in here. I also took some Purple Heart, cut the end off, and made a very simple wedge. 3 degrees is what you're wanting. So once this is inserted in the mallet, we're gonna push this in, and we're going to hammer it down until basically it can't go any further. It will be sticking out of the top. So all reality, it's going to kind of look like this, but of course inside. And I'm going to keep hammering it down. I even want the poplar to be sticking out. I want to make sure I'm getting rid of this on the bottom side. I don't want to be able to see that. So I want this to go up pretty far. If you can get it even halfway, just make sure you got enough handle down at the bottom. So that's what we're gonna do next. I don't think it's necessary to put wood glue in this one. I don't even think it's necessary to put wood glue in here. In fact, the first one I didn't. So that's what we're gonna do next. I probably will put just a very little bit of wood glue, but very little bit. Cool, let's do that. All right, so let's build it. So we can pick which one is top and bottom. It's not gonna matter as long as it fits. The only thing I would really be looking for here is how tight the hole is, because you're not gonna be able to get, other than hand sanding, as tight as you want here. So find the one that's gonna work the best. So that went in really easy. I'm gonna put this on the top. All right, so we're gonna get this in here. Get to use my hammer I built. All right. So now we're gonna hammer this in. And we're gonna keep hammering this in as deep as it go. All that's going to do is make that tighter. So let's just tilt the camera up just a tad so you can see. Yep. Okay, it broke, but I think I was still maybe a little too wide, too narrow, but it is definitely working. So now I'm gonna take this to the table saw, cut this off. I could also use like a pull saw, um, whatever, like miter saw it, whatever you want to do to take this off. Even if it sticks up a little bit, we're gonna sand it smooth. But see, that is not going anywhere. So there it is. So I can tell why it broke. See, I'm just a tad bit over there. The other thing I find, I don't know, all of this, other than obviously the little wedge, is the same type of wood, but there's a little bit of variance. So I probably, if I did it again, and I'm trying to go for this really contrasting wood, I think I will really think about the color, not only the species of wood, but the color of the wood. Off the same board, but I know at one end, it was definitely a little greener. So we'll see what that looks like after we wax it. But we basically have a hammer now. Now it's just making it look pretty. So what I'll end up doing is going to the router, route all these edges. Same thing with the handle, get it to where it's comfortable. Just keep working at it. And then we're gonna start sanding and making a handle. One thing to think about at this point is handle lengths. So I'm gonna compare it to my other one. It's already shorter, which to me this one is a little too long. So I'm liking that. So I'm probably going to be pretty happy with the handle. When I'm totally done, I'll give you some measurements. Mallet size, it is definitely a little smaller. So that's good. Options. So options, you could take this down and put a little bit of an angle. I've seen a lot of people use 2 degrees and 3 degrees on both sides. That's so when you hit, you're hitting a little more flat. All right, so I saved you all the sanding and the routing. I promise you, you're not going to learn anything from me when it comes to routing. Very new to it. So learning. But I routed all the edges, the hammer, the handle, got it to a comfortable style. Looks absolutely gorgeous. Now, time for the fun part. Time to finish this bad boy. All right, so I would take a clean towel, get everything off of it, dust-wise. Make sure you don't need to hit it with the sand. I did, I think 80 grit, 120 grit, 220 grit. I mean, you could do it, I guess, like you do a cutting board and wet it, but I don't think it's needed. This thing's not going to get wet, so not needed. I'm going to use my favorite finish, just a little bit of Johnson paste wax. Brings me back to my Marine Corps days. Those in the Marine Corps know exactly what this is. I don't even know if they're still, someone's got to tell me if they're still using this. Weirdly, hope I'm not getting anybody in trouble. To get a spoon out, light it on fire, drip it all over the floor, and buff it out with the buffer. Someone's got to tell me if we're still doing it. Should be. That was a blast. All right, so just take a terry cloth and you're gonna buff this in. Just a little bit will go a long way. Put a little bit on, and we get to see what this thing looks like. I think I'm gonna give it justice. And I know you could do other types of finishes. Do most of your woods, shellac. I'm not gonna put poly poly or nothing on it, but I would say anything that you can rub and wipe off. Anything you'd use for a cutting board, I think would probably work good. Don't forget the handle. Now, using this wax, it may yellow it just a tad, but I still think I prefer the way this feels and looks over any other thing. So just get a good even coat. What I will probably do is give it a good thick coat, come back in, wipe it off, add one more thick coat, wipe it off, and it'll probably be good. Hopefully, I honestly have never put wax on either Poplar or Purple Heart. That's the first time I've even used it, so we'll hope that it works out really well. It is definitely yellowing it, so that's not crazy about that, but it's not doing much to the Purple Heart. But I can tell definitely the handle is getting, it looks better on camera than it does in person. It's kind of yellow in person, but it still looks beautiful. No complaining. And I think it's wood pattern or wood grain color, because this side is gorgeous where this is a little yellow, and that's probably where, I know you can see it here, see the difference in the two? That's really weird. It's same species of wood, actually even the same board. What you gotta like about wood. Pretty crazy. Alright, so we have a finished product. I will probably go ahead and put another coat on, but that is a done hammer. Holy moly, that is spectacular. Alright, well, thanks for watching. If you sticked around this long, you got to see how beautiful this thing came out. Really